Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Oklahoma Esports League Week 5. Today we are watching Valorant. We are watching Booker T. Washington versus Union High School. I am Garrett, a.k.a. Fuzzball, and with me I have Jackson here, a.k.a. Amnesia.
Yes, sir.
And we are super excited to get into some Valorant today.
Yeah, Booker T being 4-0 right now, the #1 seed in the league right now. Tulsa Union being #2 in the league at 3-1. Currently now fighting for that top slot. If Tulsa Union does take this one away, both teams will be 4-1. And depending on how the matches turn out for the rest of them, Tulsa could end up as the #1 seed.
And it looks like here today for Booker T. Washington, starting on that defense side, we have Banksy, Daydream, Mark836, Hello World, and Luca.
And on the attacker side, we have D&D, Sang, Vin, Dedabop, and I ego peak, just like me for real in my ranked games.
And that's why you're hard stuck plat. But you know what? That's okay. We are trying to get these compositions set up here. Some traditional picks coming out from the Booker T. Washington side. We do see that Sova from Mark836, a very popular pick on this map with so many wall-bangable spots. We also see Luca, who we've actually watched the Booker T. Washington team against Broken Arrow a few weeks ago, and Luca was on that duelist role as well during that time. A very, very successful game for Booker T. Washington, actually winning that game at 13-4 against Broken Arrow. Union, however, lost in week 2 against Moore High School. They come into this 3-1, really being able to kind of climb back after that week 2 loss. Had a couple of close wins, but now taking on who is currently the top seed and Booker T. Washington.
Yeah, and then looking at the picks on the Union side, deciding to take out that Reyna. Not typically a competitive, viable pick, I would say. Typically likes to play for themselves, try to get those frags. But, you know, if you can take that advantage and push it forward, then not necessarily a bad thing. And they will be starting on the attack, so having the Reyna and the Jet, as well as having that KO Sova and Omen, a very, very attack-sider team, having no Sentinel there. So they are looking to try to push their advantage as much as they can in this first half.
And I don't know if you noticed this on the Booker T. Washington side. Everyone electing to go for a gun. I like to call this gun comp on pistol round, where you have the 4 ghosts and the sheriff, no shields, because if you click them better, you will simply win. Luca with that ego peek in the A main here. Getting some information, Dart is going to come out from the Union Redhawks as we begin to look at this engagement.
Yeah, it looks like they are just going to hard push this A side on this first round. D&D going to go ahead and get that first pick on to Hello World. That's 4 players remaining here for Booker T. Washington. Union Redhawks are going to go ahead and get that bomb down. Now ticking away. Booker T. Washington is going to have to figure out how to retake this site. All of them except for the Cypher going up into this heaven angle. Luca taking out one. Mark getting the pick onto the other. Half HP onto Sang. Sang does end up going down. Banksy getting that final kill. Luca going to try to make something happen. Gets a nice headshot on to Dedabop. D&D cleaning that one up, though, onto Luca. 2v1 here. Daydream finishing off the final kill onto D&D there. That will be the first round there for Booker T. Washington.
I realized after we started this round that we actually saw Booker T. Washington against Broken Arrow on Ascent last time, and a very similar round played out on their defensive pistol side, where they gave up A site very easily and then retook it really, really immensely. I feel like there was a little bit of a flub on the smoke from Union there, especially towards the heaven, was able to get a lot of space. And then we saw Luca come back, get those 2 picks, and then Daydream being able to get the final clutch as Banksy had that post-plant defuse. A really good retake, being able to play those trades and play for the objective, which is how you win the game.
Yeah, we saw a lot of really good retakes from the side of Booker T. Washington. We'll see what the Union Redhawks can do to try and defend against those once they get that bomb down. Again, having no Sentinel or anything like that, once they get that bomb down, they kind of switch to the defensive side, and it does get a little rough with the utility at their disposal to try to make something happen. D&D going to get an early pick onto Banksy there, picking up that Spectre. Great start here for the Union Redhawks. It is their save round here, since Booker T. Washington took that first round. So if they can just try to get a couple picks, maybe even get that bomb down, that's looking good for them. But if they can take this win here off that early pick, that would also be great for them. Just looking to control this mid here. Mark going to take the peek with that Stinger. Takes a couple pop shots.
Getting some good information there.
Luca here with this judge, and that dash is able to take that first kill and dash back out. Decides to lurk back up to try to get another. Gets another onto Ego Peak, but has to reload. D&D is going to clean that up. Onto Luca, Hello World. Onto Sang, D&D onto Hello World. Now a 2v2 for both teams. Union Redhawks in a great position right now, but unfortunately the door locking off both of the Union Redhawks players. Mark being able to take out both of those players. Booker T. Washington taking a narrowly close second round there. They were on their bye, so that was looking a little scary there for a second.
Yeah, Union played that eco really strong at the beginning, trying to dominate that mid control, and D&D with that 6-2 stat line coming out of round 2. Really impressive from them being able to get 3 kills in that eco round. But after getting that mid control, I feel like they stalled a little bit, not 100% sure where to go, and just happened to walk into the player on Booker T. Washington that had the judge. Really hard to walk through that, especially in that short corridor, and those trades start coming out. But still, if you're Union, you're not upset with that eco at all. You take a lot of pressure on these guns, and now your buy round is here. You have to be able to make the play here.
Pushing into this B site, Union Redhawks, Jet in first, Reyna in second. Only the Cypher and the Sova here for the side of Booker T. Washington to hold the site. The Bucky from Mark gets that first pick onto Sang. Daydream here with the Sheriff, manages to get one as well. D&D gets a pick onto Luca, though, in that mid. Mark looking to try to take the gun. A little too risky right now, knowing where their players are. D&D going to start working up. That drone from Mark is going to come out. Knowing that D&D is on those stairs, Mark going to be half HP now. That dash up, going to use it just to take that market space. Vin managing to take out 2. Only Daydream left on the side of Booker T. Washington, but 3 players have been taken out now for the Union Redhawks. They are just going to go ahead and take this rotation over to this A site, knowing that Daydream is still over on this B with only 10 HP remaining, still having the cam, a cage, and a trip up. Going to see what they can make happen here. If they can manage to take out at least one more player, is going to be looking good for the side of Booker T. Washington. This is their bonus round, so they are, expected to lose these rounds, considering that Union Redhawks does have the bye at this point. But it looks like Vin is going to look for it. Does end up taking out Daydream, getting that third. Union Redhawks taking that third round.
Yeah, really good awareness from Vin there to start paying attention to the timing and how little presence had been shown on the actual defender side of A, recognizing that the flank was coming around there from the Cypher in Booker T. Washington. A lot of really good trades there, a really strong take onto B, and then the recognition to be able to actually leave B site whenever they had site advantage on the A side, playing your numbers, playing a lot of advantage if you're Union Redhawks. Exactly what you needed on your buy round, and they're right back in this thing.
Yeah, and Union Redhawks having a little bit of a short buy. Still having 4 rifles, but also having a Sheriff on one of their players. Narrowly losing that third round, but mostly full buys. All of Booker T. Washington already starting to rotate over to this A. D&D is going to get in really quick. Gets on top of that generator, but Hello World is going to see it and take out D&D. Banksy just looking at this entry. Looks like Union Redhawks are just going to quickly take this rotation. All of Booker T. Washington's players have taken the rotation over. Are going to quickly rotate back, hearing a lot of those players go ahead and back up. The Sova and the Cypher going to work their way back towards this B site. The Omen on the side of Union Redhawks is going to lurk still on this A site with this bomb. Maybe trying to get a slow push back onto the A site, decides to go ahead and back up and play with the rest of their team towards this B site. Daydream, the only one on this B site right now for the side of Booker T. Washington, taking a couple pop shots to make some sound over on that A site. Looks like the Sova and the Jet are going to take the rotation, not seeing any players left in that A main. That Sova Dart is going to come out from the Union Redhawks onto mid, scanning. Nothing there. The rest of Booker T. Washington does get that vibe that they are over on that B site, so they are going to get these rotations back up. Mark, not quite sure where they want to end up. Daydream still just holding the stand. The knife will come out. Mark gets a nice pick onto Ego Peak. Gets 2 more onto Vin and Sang. Looked like a lineup there from both of them. Dead a bop. Takes one out, though. Luca does get the final kill. Booker T. Washington only losing 1 and manages to take that 4th round, putting them 3-1.
Yeah, Booker T. Washington's doing a really great job on playing their Cypher on this B site, just getting so much information without him actually having to show his presence between the cameras and the trips. We saw that from their quick rotation onto the A side originally in that round, and then recognizing the presence that was starting to walk away from the Union Redhawks on that A push, being able to rotate back and anchor down B site. And we saw it from Union, even though they took all the way up to B main, weren't feeling comfortable, not sure where those trips were sitting, and already getting recognized by the Cypher util early. It was a very difficult round to take if you're a Union Redhawk, and a really well defensively played round if you're a Booker T. Washington fan.
Union deciding to take this tree space, going up that cat, sitting the Sova in mid still to maybe try to take some pop shots. Luca getting the first blood onto Vin there. D&D going to push through with these knives. Luca getting 2 more. Getting 4. Luca looking really good right now. Only 1 player remaining here for Union, and it is D&D. Can Luca clean this one up and take this ace for Booker T? And does take it. A nice shot there to finish that one off. Really, really quick round there for the side of Booker T. Washington. Union trying to take that tree space. Luca just ready for it on that A-side defense, is able to take out all 5 of Booker T. Washington's players.
And I feel like something in Valorant that is really not talked about a whole lot is you have your important characters that are your sentinels, your controllers, and your initiators who have that util you really require. But then you have this unspoken rule that your duelist can be your strongest character on your team because they have the advantage to just get picks like Luca just did, already hoisting a 10-3 stat line 5 rounds into this game.
Booker T. Washington looking to play more towards the A site, sitting the Cypher on a loose lurk here on that A site, and the Sova very far back on that CT. Nobody actually playing on that B site. They do read that Union is going to play towards this A site, going to go ahead and take this orb. Not quite sure if they want to complete it. That bomb still sitting towards their spawn. They decide to walk towards mid. D&D getting a nice push up on to Banksy there, able to get a nice another pick onto Booker T. Washington. 2 players down for Booker T. Union looking really good right now, just deciding to slow down a little bit, see what they can clean up. Hello World sitting over on the A site with Mark sitting over on the B, having Daydream on the A as well, sitting up in heaven. They are going to hear some spray from Sang here in A main. Hello World looking to lurk up a little bit, maybe try to take this pick. The rest of Union is slowly pushing onto this B side. It doesn't look like Booker T is aware of it yet, though. They do hear that door go down, though. Daydream and Mark, the dynamic duo of last time, both pushing through this CT here. The bomb will go down for Union. D&D getting 1, Mark trading for the other, Vin trading back. Only 1 player remaining on Hello World for Booker T. 3 players remaining still for Union Redhawks. Half HP Jet. D&D looking to push out of it. Hello World getting a nice flick onto D&D, taking a little bit of damage. Not enough to where it matters a whole lot, though. That dart is going to go out. It slows Hello World up just a little bit. That bomb just ticking away. Sang watching the CT. They both know that Hello World is there. Hello World is going to get a lurk out. Decides to just go ahead and back up and save that weapon, knowing that they can't take that defuse.
Something that cannot be understated from that round is how much free space Union was able to get by just playing the default and playing slowly, working up that mid, getting D&D all the way up into market before any contact was even initiated, actually really walked into the defending spawn to be able to get that initial pick onto Vin from behind, and then a free take on B for the Union Redhawks. Really good on not committing to their initial pick and making Booker T. Washington have to guess on if they were going to commit or spread like they did.
Yeah, no, it looks like Union is going to take a little bit more of a default approach here. They're sending their KO, Reyna, and Omen towards this mid. Jet going to take it from the cat angle and having that Sova towards the A site, just looking to try to take as much space and get as much information as possible early. This Reyna, Jet, and KO still making this space in mid. None of Booker T. Washington's players playing towards this mid side. Banksy playing in that tree there, maybe trying to see if they can get an angle on one of Union's players walking through that tree. Looks like they're going to take this space lurking up in the mid. Daydream seeming aware that they're going to try to take the space. Not quite sure where they are, though. D&D does get spotted out. That gun gets seen first. Not quite sure that Daydream was sitting inside that smoke waiting for it. That ult is going to come out. Now knowing where the rest of Union's players are, the default is going to have to squeeze back towards this mid. A bunch of picks going out. Booker T. Washington down a player now. Vin and IE go peek, just looking to make something happen. Mark taking a nice shot, but Sang getting the trade. Still, Mark the only one remaining here for Booker T. Washington. Both Sang and Vin trying to make something happen. Nice double swing. Good coordination, taking that at the same time, getting that final blow.
And Jackson, once again, you could take a lot of that round to Union because of the way they were able to maintain space up that mid, being able to walk all the way up into market. Again, until they got that duel, sure, D&D got picked off first, but you still have all that free space. And even with the Cypher ultimate coming out, Booker T. Washington looked unsure as to where Union was going to commit, ending up being on that B site. When the trades came out, Union just happened to be one player up, and that's really the story of why they won that round.
Yeah, now Union looking to play maybe a little bit more aggressively towards this A site. Booker T having this jet stationed in this mid. After what happened last round, they don't want those lurk-ups to happen again. Gonna go ahead and take that ult orb. 3 ults here. To the side of Union, 3 ults on the side of Booker T as well. There goes the Sova ult for Union. Gonna try to get a pick. Get some damage onto Hello World there. Forcing Hello World back into tree. Union going to do a nice job of taking control of this A site here. The rest of Booker T. Washington grouped up in this rafters here. Luca going to look to take this first contact. Mark going to dart out onto site, try to get some spots. Notices that a lot of the players are in the hell. Mark just takes the liberty to go ahead and shoot the ult down there, knowing that so many of those players are down there. It is a Sovi 1v1 here. Mark versus Sang. Who's going to come out on top? Pulls out the dart to try to get some information. Pings out Mark. Mark knows where Sang is. Only 4 bullets remaining for Mark. Mark deciding to switch to that pistol. The shock dart coming out. Both going to their pistol. Mark finally cleaning that up onto Sang. Mark having just enough time to take this defuse. What a battle there for both of those Sovas.
I love watching Sova players think because they always try and use so much utility. And realistically, that round was the story of the 2 Sovas. We had the Union engagement with the Sova ultimate being able to chunk one player down to half and eliminating another. But then the retake, filtering out all of those players who decided to play the lower level of A, being able to get so much value and force them out of their little hidey hole, was really able to get that retake for Booker T. Washington.
Yeah, and D&D and Luca, the 2 Jets topping these scoreboards right now, both looking really solid in this first half. Booker T. Washington going to go ahead and station that Jet towards that mid again. Really don't want those lurk-ups to happen. Union forcing this A, actually deciding to back up here a little bit, sending a lurk towards that B site on that Jet. Going to go ahead and rotate over towards the rest of their team. Looking to maybe go towards mid, kind of just gathering some information right now.
And Booker T. Washington's able to develop these angles on the mid, realize that there's not a lot of rotations coming through there. Realistically, it's only got to be one of 2 options, either that B main or that A main. They hear the ultimate orb, probably meaning that it's the A main, but they don't know Luca has the operator looking on this. Maybe
they do now.
Now that recon dart being
scan.
able to spot it out, and that's going to cause Union to want to rotate here, not walking into that.
Especially with 4 of Booker T. Washington's players forced over onto this A site, trying to take that quick lurk or quick rotate over towards that A site. The rest of Union gonna go on this catwalk, maybe trying to look for tree. 4 of them going in tree right now, sitting the Omen in main. Banksy manages to get 1, but D&D gets the trade onto Hello World. Luca taking that shot onto Vin. D&D, Banksy. Daydream getting 2 onto D&D and Dead a Bop. Sang managing to take out Daydream there. Only 1 player remaining here for Union Redhawks. Mark able to clean that one up, though. 6-3, Booker T. Washington up. Union Redhawks looking a little rough on this attack, considering the composition they have. Going into defense down some rounds might be a little rough for them to bring back.
Yeah, with no Sentinel, you really want to walk out of this half at least 6-6 and then be able to turn around on the defensive side. Something I think Union is doing a really good job of is taking that mid control, being able to have awareness of those angles. I think every single time we've seen them win a round, it's actually been because of how intense their mid control has been.
And it looks like Union wants to just force this B site. Luca taking that early pick onto Dedabop. Ego Peak taking out Mark though, putting this back to even. Union not expecting that operator to be sitting in that B main. Gonna go ahead and back up and force it towards this mid. Banksy getting a nice flash, but D&D ready for it. Takes that shot onto Banksy. Booker T now down a player, having to play a little bit more safe. Oh, this tree play coming in. Nice blind, but decides to just back up off of it. Union looking to get a free sight. Booker T gonna try and retake this as 3. Union being up a player. It's looking a little rough. Daydream getting a nice pick, but Vin gets that trade. Luca with just the op decides to try to pick up that Vandal, but doesn't get it in time. D&D taking out Luca there. Hello World, the only one remaining in this 1v3. Vin waiting for it. They know Hello World is in this tree. Takes out one. Needs another. Gets Sang.
Oh.
Almost cleans that up. Vin at such low HP, but Vin was able to clean up that final kill, putting Union Redhawks another round up. They need these last 2 if they want to feel comfortable in the second half.
And the unsung hero of that round is going to be Ego Peak, who Ego peaked at the beginning of the round and got that pick onto Mark 836, really taking a lot of information from Booker T. Washington. They weren't able to clear angles as fast, and it forced them to be late on that rotation, trying to get Luca out with that op on the A Heaven, not being able to get the angles that they wanted. Really struggled for that retake as we saw them swing out from those smokes. Made it where Union was actually able to get an upper hand and get closer to that 6-6 hope that they are going for.
Yeah, Luca kind of playing this opposite of last round. Instead of the op, decides to take that close range option and play with this judge. Waiting to see if some of Union's players will push into this. Omen and Sova deciding to lurk up a little bit with that Jet as well to try to take some of this main space. Union just playing this default here, being spread all across the map. Looking like they want to finish towards this tree.
Here.
D&D just waiting for their team to get here. Banksy sitting in this tree waiting to hear something.
And I'm sure
Still
that
just
they
playing
have
slow. Banksy gets the first contact, but D&D will take the shot. Cleans that one up. Luca with this judge quickly rotating over. Maybe going to try to take 1 or 2. There's Sang decides to dash in with the judge. A very aggressive option. Doesn't quite get anything. Daydream with 2 nice shots from that Sheriff. Mark with another Sheriff shot. Just 1 player remaining here for Union. Just going to go ahead and take this aggressive play. Mark going to have to back off that drone so they don't die to that KO Molly. 2v1 here. Not quite sure where he is. 2 amazing shots. Mark and Hello World both walking out at the same time. Dedabop just able to take those last couple shots, winning Union the round that they needed.
That eco round almost looked like a disaster for the Union Redhawks, losing players to the Luca Judge as well as the lurk up for Mark 836 in that tree. But Dedabop being able to clutch up for Union, winning that 1v2 and getting them that much closer to that 6v6.
Yeah, and Union just looking to take this final round, going to decide to go back to what they've done the last few rounds and force towards this A site. Sending the Omen towards mid, but Luca does have that op this time. Does get the first pick on the Vin, looking a little rough. Booker T deciding to rotate over towards A really quickly. Hello World getting one of the Sang. Booker T really not wanting Union to have this next round. Now that they are down 2 players, they're going to have to slow up and try to find a couple picks if they want to make something happen in the rest of this round. They do have the Reyna ulti up. Hopefully popping it soon. There's no time limit on it. May as well get it out now. Mark going to go ahead and throw that scan. Does scan out D&D, knowing that they might be towards that cat. Forcing towards that tree. Spots out multiple. Mark getting an amazing headshot through the wall there. Ego Peak deciding to pop that Empress. Does get taken out though. Daydream managing to get 2 nice shots onto the final 2. Booker T. Washington, 7-5.
Yeah, Union seem to not play to their strength, getting these picks in a lot of these spots. Booker T able to capitalize on that, get a couple of initial picks, one in the mid from Luka. I love how they've been shifting around his op play, by the way, and another on the A main site take. In a 3v5, it's already difficult, but the trades and the communication from Booker T. Washington, absolutely excellent. Being able to eliminate players from the back is always a great sign of team play and understanding your rotation and trades.
Yeah, now with Booker T. Washington on the attack, Union on the defense, we're going to have to see how these compositions change and how these play styles change. Going to send the Jet and the Sova towards the B site, the Omen towards the tree, the KO and the Reyna over on the A site. A nice early shock dart, getting some damage onto the Jet there. Going to send out the recon as well, spotting out quite a few. Decides to take the backup. D&D playing a little bit of a aggressive peek here.
D&D.
Walks into that smoke, is going to play a little bit back. The KO managing to spot him out. D&D does get that pick and walk back though. Ego Peak ready to defend D&D there. Ego Peak getting another nice pick onto Hello World there. Still 5 players remaining here for Union Redhawks. Booker T only 2 players. Daydream getting taken out by Vin. Banksy last player remaining, knowing that they are in tiles. Vin does spot it out and get the final pick. A flawless for Union on the first round, exactly what they needed to start bringing this game back.
And D&D playing with fire, walking out that A main, using the Omen smoke to their advantage. Really got extremely lucky being able to walk out with their life. And Ego Peak having the follow-up as they tried to leave. A nice cross angle, a double angle for Union there, making Booker T have to slow down that push, lose this first pistol round, and then all of a sudden we are almost back at a tie game.
Yeah, now Booker T gonna decide to push towards the A side this time. Maybe being a little scared of what could happen on this B site. Gonna slowly lurk up this catwalk. Vin getting a lot of people spotted there. The Reyna and the Jet gonna go ahead and lurk over. It is gonna be a 3v4 in this tree. D&D and Sang through the wall there. I've not seen that one before.
Yeah.
Vin getting 2 amazing headshots onto Banksy and Hello World as well. Sang cleaning the last one up. Union taking that buy round in stride. Now into their bonus, looking really good, tying this game up.
Man saying I'm going to have to take that one into my ranked games. I really like that angle coming from the market area onto that catwalk. Being able to recognize, again, this is what I'm talking about with that defense on Union. Being able to have those follow-up angles where the attackers don't have to worry about the one defender, but actually having a cross somewhere else that they're not ready for. That catwalk play, if undetected, can be really, really lethal for defenders, but getting that early information and stranding them out on catwalk really slows it down. We see D&D with an op here in, an outlaw here in this third round.
Gets a nice early pick. Union on their bonus, doesn't quite have the rifles that Booker T does. Luka getting a pick on to Vin there as well. 4v4 here. Mark getting a nice shot onto D&D. D&D not quite sure that one was going to be lurked up already. Deadabot manages to get one onto Banksy though. Daydream the trade onto Deadabot. Trades back and forth right now. Mark managing to get one as well. Only 1 player remaining here for Union. It is Ego Peak with this Guardian. Union does manage to take out 2 players on their bonus. That really is all you can ask for with the worst weapons. Mark going to go ahead and take the Ego Peak onto the Ego Peaker and manages to get that final shot, putting Booker T. Washington up another, but that was Union's bonus. So they were down the weapons. Now they are on their full buy. D&D opting to take that up and is going to go on this A site. Now that both teams have these full buys, we're going to have to see what happens.
Usually when you see these initiators like Mark 836, you are really, really impressed with how they use their utility, gather information, and use their brain to win Valorant games. But I'm not going to lie to you, I am super impressed with Mark's aim currently. It looks so crisp to watch, very satisfying.
They're going to go ahead and take the early peek, going down to 5 HP almost immediately from the D&D leg shot. Now Booker T being down a player, knowing that there is an op towards that A, they decide to go ahead and rotate really quickly over towards this B site. Sang with this Odin does get taken down to 57. Daydream at 1 HP as well, but all of Union's players still up. Vin taking a nice shot onto Hello World. Daydream getting the trade onto D&D. 4v3 for Union right now. Booker T going to take this free site after getting that pick in that mid. Iego Peak taking one onto Banksy. Only 2 players remaining here for Booker T. Vin walking out, doesn't check the angle. Daydream ready for it. Iego Peak taking out Daydream as well. Mark, the only one remaining here for Booker T. Union gonna play together on this retake. Don't give Mark the ones that they want. Saying with this Odin gonna try to make something happen. The blind coming out from the KO and the Reyna. Mark getting a nice shot onto Iego Peak, but Dedabop is right behind. Mark taking an amazing shot onto Dedabop, taking another onto Sang. The 1v1s that Mark wanted, able to clean up that round. Was looking rough for Booker T Washington, but manages to get those final shots onto Union, taking them 9-7.
Being able to have the awareness on the angles, getting so much util dumped into Mark. I believe he got flashed 3 times during that last post-plant play, and being able to use the angles to still isolate his 1v1 so perfectly, as well as hitting some very nice shots. A really amazing play for Booker T, who started to feel like they were losing momentum before that last round, and this might turn the tides back their way.
That's also the momentum that Booker T wants. They must be feeling good after that round. Sang, though, able to take 2 out with that Ares just spraying in. Banksy going to try to get that bomb out. Manages to get sent down to half HP. D&D decides to take the aggressive play. Takes the shot onto Banksy. Manages to get out. A spray from Sang just manages to randomly spray through the wall. Has 0 information on it and just starts shooting. Is able to take it out. We were talking about Booker T taking that momentum, feeling good after that round, but Union coming back with a stinger and an Ares. What a play.
Yeah, I was talking about those Sovas with their giant brains being able to have awareness of the map and use their utility, and then all of a sudden we see Sang be able to do that, just randomly shooting through walls, the game awareness, knowing where the players are supposed to be, and getting those wall bangs with the areas, which is a popular thing on Ascent. It's why Sova is meta on the map, but we saw that from Sang just now. It was awesome to watch.
D&D getting one, Mark getting another. The ult going to come out. Sang decides to swing off it to take out Mark early. Union now down a player. Sang decides to send out that shock dart, decides to send out the Silvertron as well, being so close. Maybe looking to ult. Banksy getting a headshot through that smoke onto Sang. Vin and Daydream trading each other out. 2v2 here, but both of Booker T Washington's players are going to be fairly low HP. Daydream getting the first peek. Iego Peak not ready for it. Daydream getting a fantastic shot there onto Iego Peak. Hello World with the bomb here in this main. Dedabop going to decide to lurk off that B, thinking that they might go towards this A site. Booker T playing a little bit safer here.
And it looks like Booker T is actually not aware where Dedabop is, trying to take as much space as possible for information. I don't know if they actually had info that they were on the B site, because otherwise they'd be immediately rotating to A, which is what Dedabop, I think, is predicting here. But it looks like the gamble is going to not pay off. And where Daydream is so deep in his own spawn, is he going to be expecting this when he hears bomb go down? But Daydream is also, they're just taking a while to plant the bomb as well. And maybe Dedabop's starting to realize, hey, I made the wrong rotation. I think they're actually going B-side, and they could be anywhere on the map by this point.
Hello World going to go ahead and plant that bomb down, knowing that Union is not on this B site. Dedabop coming on this CT. Going to get smoked off, it looks like. Throws that knife. Now they know that they're CT. Spots one out, tries to run towards those stairs for some cover. Doesn't quite get there before Daydream takes that peek, taking another out. Union down 2 rounds now. Booker T Washington bringing another back in their favor. Union also not quite having this full buy, not looking amazing for them right now.
And Luca started this game really hot for Booker T Washington, but now Daydream and Mark being able to bring back their frags, getting 21 apiece currently, leading the leaderboard for Booker T. But then on the other side, we have Union with that 23 and 15 D&D, being able to make a lot of plays on that defensive side as the Jet.
Yeah, looking to play a little bit more spread. Sang getting another headshot with that Odin through
I wonder what happened over there
to Luca. Yeah, we can probably guess. 2 players here towards this A main. One towards mid, one towards B. looking to get some more information, seeing that Odin on the B site, looking like they don't want to force into that. 3 of Union's players looking for that B. Mark making a lot of space right now. Iego Peak just not ready for it. 3v2 for Booker T. Banksy and Mark here. Gonna go ahead and get this bomb down, close that door, try to play this post plant. Mark being able to 1v3 once before. No sweat for them in this round. Gonna go ahead and take this aggressive peek, trying to get a couple picks. Mark manages to clean it up. D&D and Dedabop, but Sang pulling out that Sova ult. It's Banksy versus Sang. Banksy at 45 HP. Sang just spraying around a little bit to try to find Banksy. Gonna go ahead and stick this defuse, maybe looking to get it half. The flash gonna come out, gets it half, gets the peek, but doesn't quite get the shot that they wanted. Sang cleaning it up. Union, 9 rounds now, just another one to bring this back even.
Yeah, Union being able to have that numbers advantage going into post-plant situation in that 3v2, even with a great play from Mark, just getting traded out, forcing that 1v1. Booker T playing their numbers well, being able to force a 1v1 that we've seen them win a couple times now, and being able to actually clinch that round, taking their lead again.
Yeah, D&D and Mark both topping their scoreboards, both looking great right now. Daydream not far behind, though.
And it looks like Booker T's actually in a little bit of a hero gun. Hello World, the only one with a rifle on their side. The rest are pistols or some awkward gun. Interesting after they won the last round, but sometimes that's how your economy of Valorant goes. Looks like they're wanting to take mid-control. A couple of picks from Union, from Vin and Ego Peak, being able to get those picks. Ego Peak also getting Banksy. That hero gun's still alive. Nope, there it goes down. Daydream, the last one left, getting the dink on Ego Peak. Stuck in this tiles, and just an impossible situation that Union has put on Booker T Washington here.
That's the cleanup that Union wanted, the round that they needed. 10-10, tying up this game. Definitely going to have these full buys now. Booker T having almost a full buy. Hello World not quite having the economy to fully buy up if they do end up losing this round. Putting Union at 11. They are going to have to save, probably giving Union the match point. This is the round that Booker T Washington needs if they still want to feel comfortable in this game. Gonna go ahead and force it towards this B side, it looks like. The spray from the Odin coming out, but they do expect it. Dodge it a little bit. Sang now sending that recon through. Spots out a few, decides not to go for the spray. Peeks onto Banksy, taking Banksy down. Luca gets the shot onto Sang. Banksy is going to come back up, it looks like. Mark Vin getting a couple picks.
The rotation's coming so fast from that sonar from Union Sova, and the cleanup is able to come in. You just catch 4 or 5 on that recon dart, and it's impossible to have any slow rotations coming in from the opposing sides. I thought there should have been a spray with how much we've been seeing Sang spray through that B main. I thought we were about to see a clip and a half from an Odin Sova player. But still, just getting that information, getting the quick rotations, a really rough spot if you're Booker T Washington. Starting to lose that economy. Looks like they're going into a bit of a force here as we are here left with a maximum of 5 rounds left before overtime. 4 rounds left before overtime, I guess. Really exciting to see.
Yeah, Booker T Washington deciding to force up this round. Still having 4 rifles to their name. Ego Peak managing to get 2 onto Union. Not looking great here for Booker T, forcing out this catwalk. Banksy taking out Iego Peak, but Vin getting the trade onto Luca. Vin getting 1 onto Banksy as well. Only 1 player remaining here on Booker T. Daydream manages to get 2, though. Not looking horrible for Daydream now, Sang walking out with that Odin, though. That puts Union at match point. And from what seemed like not a great buy either.
Yeah, Union winning 4 straight rounds now. Was down 10-8, now at 10-12, and incoming caster curse right here. Booker T Washington has never lost a game in this season. Currently 4-0, Tulsa Union at 3-1. Really would be great for Union if they were able to win this and take down the current 1 seed in the standings.
Yeah, Union looking to take this win and take a slot on the top spot. All forcing towards this A site. Nobody from Union on the site. Looking like they might want to take some pop shots. Mark getting the pick onto Dedabop, though. The rest of Union off-site going to go ahead and play off this retake. Sang, ego peek, decides to send it through, though. With that, Empress manages to take one out, but gets taken out by Daydream. 3v3 here. Very even for both teams. Some utility coming out, the operator on the side of D&D. Vin getting 2 amazing shots onto Daydream and Hello World. Only 1 player remaining for Booker T, and Sang will get the spray through onto Luca. That will be the game for the Union Redhawks, putting them 4-1, tied now with Booker T Washington, also 4-1.
What a game. That was hype. That was probably the best Valorant game we've had on the channel so far. Really exciting. Congratulations to Union on that win. Booker T Washington still 4-1. I think we just saw some of the Titans in Valorant in our Champions division. Really exciting to see a lot of awesome plays there. Wow, and especially on Ascent, the Sova gameplay on both sides was really inspiring to see. I play Sova on that map quite a bit, so I'm going to have to watch this VOD, go back, take some of those plays for myself. But yeah, congratulations again to Tulsa Union. Now advances to 4-1 on the season, and now tied with Booker T Washington at the top of the standings.
Yeah, and thank you guys for watching. Tune in very shortly for some Fortnite.